All right, good morning. Welcome in. We'll have Chris Lemonis at 9:30 today. Chris Lemonis, MSU baseball coach, at 9:30 today on the Out of Bounds show and the Bucked Up Energy Drink guest line. Just look for the deer with antlers, the buck on the can. Zero sugar. Get you ready for the day, a workout, a big test, a big presentation. Bucked Up Energy Drinks. Also, the show is brought to you by Topo Chico Seltzers. Delicious and refreshing. Please drink responsibly. Welcome in. ESPN 1059 The Zone. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. Had some fun talking about the new faces in the NFL. And Matthew Stafford, nobody pays attention to the Detroit Lions. Stafford finally gets out of there, joins a winner. He's in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow goes with the Cincinnati Bengals. And, tough first year and gets hurt. And then they come back and they take out the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, down 21-3. So we have two SEC QBs. Now, one does have a championship. Joe Burrow won the national title. Matthew Stafford did not at Georgia. They had some good seasons under him. And so Stafford now has an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. And Joe Burrow in only year two has a chance to win a Super Bowl. And then all these skill position players, not counting Aaron Donald on the Rams defense, who people just rave about what a good dude he is. But he's not a vocal guy. But on Sunday in the fourth quarter, he gathered that, y'all saw it on TV, he gathered that defense around and basically let them know, this is it. We can't waste this opportunity. And they made a few plays, and the Rams punched their ticket over the 49ers. So we have the Rams and the Bengals. These are not blue blood programs. I'm sorry, franchises. The college comes out at me, right? But very, very exciting. Now, the Rams won it in St. Louis, Blake, but they have not won it in L.A. when they were in L.A. before or since being in L.A. McVay took them a few years ago, and they lost to the Patriots in a defensive standoff.
Were you cheering for them against the Titans, or were you cheering for the Titans?
The Bengals?
No, the Rams.
Oh, I was cheering for the Titans because of Air McNair. Steve McNair, man, from Mississippi. So, I love the Rams and Marshall Faulk and Isaac Bruce. But to come up a few yards short was tough. The Out of Bounds Show, 1059 The Zone, ESPN. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. The show is driven by pre-owned and new Ram trucks at Mac Hike and Flowood. So they've got the Jeep Grand Cherokees and the pre-owned and new Ram trucks at MacHikeFlowwood.com. That's Mac Hike and Flowood. We've been talking a good bit about Sean Payton and the impact that he had on the New Orleans Saints. The Saints won 40% of their games from 1967 to 2005. From 2006 to this year, they won 60% of their games. They also won a Lombardi Trophy, and they lived in the playoffs. And that's because of Sean Payton and so many others. We're excited to welcome in our friend Pierre Thomas, who played running back for the New Orleans Saints, and he has a Super Bowl ring. Boy, was he a big part of that playoff run. And Pierre joins us on the Corona Premier guest line. Pierre Thomas, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How about yourself?
Hey, we're doing well. Thanks so much for taking some time. Pierre, you've got a great story. Undrafted, had to grind. You were buried on the depth chart and ended up having a wonderful career for the Saints. Talk about your first of all, making the team, but interacting with Sean right out of college in 2007 and 2008, those first couple years, and what that was like.
Well, I mean, just making a team was unbelievable. I didn't know, if I had a chance or not because of the guys that are already there. Deuce McAllister, Aaron Stecker, and Reggie Bush. And, here I come, a guy who wasn't drafted or anything like that, who had to make a name for himself. And just go out there and showcase my talents and show everybody that I deserve to be there. And then and then when I was told I made the team and Sean took a chance on me, it just shows me that, anything is possible. And I showed him that it doesn't matter where you come from or how high you are ranked. You have to show me that you have the talent and you deserve to be here. And as I was there right before we won a Super Bowl for the 2 years, 07, 08, he used my story. He used that. And then as the time was on, he just kept using it for the next round of guys that's coming in. He says, I don't care where you came from. I don't care if you were drafted first round, second round. We had a guy who come in here. He wouldn't, even though I was on the team, he wouldn't say my name too much. He just said we had a guy come in here who wasn't drafted, and now he's one of our starters. He could just let the suspense be in the air a little bit sometimes, but then he told him who it was a little later. But just for him to do that, I mean, it just shows that he's a guy who really sees outside of the box. He doesn't stick by just all the rules. He's a man that will try anything to get his team ahead and get his organization ahead. He's a leader. He's an inspirational. He's a motivator. I think that's what sets him different from a lot of different coaches.
He is Pierre Thomas on the Out of Bounds show. 8 years with the Saints. Lombardi Trophy. He's got a Super Bowl ring. Obviously, he played for Sean Payton from 2007 to 2014. He joins us on the Corona Premier guest line. So how would you describe Sean Payton? I mean, I know he's got bite in him. I know he's aggressive, but I looked at all the players who were thanking him last week on social media. I was so blessed to play for you and so on. Would you consider him a player's coach, or how would you describe him, Pierre?
You're not off and you're not wrong about the bite and the aggression in him. He shows that he has passion for the game. He loves doing what he's doing. And, yes, I would say he's a player's coach. I mean, he still has to be a coach. He tells us we're friends, but we're not close friends. And it's not to say that it's not to say that he's wrong, It makes you think about, he'll deliver a message to you where you'd be like, wait, what? But he has a point. It's the truth. We're friends, but we're not close. We're not close friends, or we're not friends because this is a job. I have to do my job. You have to do your job. And I want you to do the best job. And he's going to challenge you. He's going to push you. He's going to educate you. He was I would say he was one of the all-around coaches. I noticed one thing with my 8 years being done, and I wasn't done myself, so I moved on from New Orleans. I played for San Francisco and Washington Redskins. Washington. It wasn't the same. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from those coaches, but it just wasn't the same. I didn't have that inspiration. I didn't have that pep talk, or the team didn't have that pep talk that was needed, or educational talk that was needed for us to go out there. And that's one thing he loves to do, is give you that talk, that drive, that motivational speech. And he hits you with something that just makes you sit there and think. And I mean, that's what you want in a coach. You want a coach that's going to challenge you mentally and physically. And that's what Sean does. He challenges you to be the best person that you can be. He knows it. He sees it in you. He'll give you a chance, but he's not going to keep giving you chances. So that's what makes Sean stands out, and something I saw in him that I was happy to say, you know what, this is my coach. I'm glad he's our leader. and I'm gonna follow this man. And he's gutsy, he's wild, but I mean that's what we need in this sport.
Unbelievable 16-year run for Sean Payton. We're visiting with Pierre Thomas, who played for him for 8 years, and undrafted free agent, and went on. He was a big piece of the puzzle for the New Orleans Saints. Several playoff appearances, and of course the Lombardi Trophy Super Bowl win in Miami against the Colts, in which Pierre had an unbelievable run in those playoffs. So, Pierre, when you made the team, when you made the team right out of college as an undrafted free agent, and you found out, was Sean in the room, or was it through a position coach? How did that work?
When I found out I made the team, I was actually at the Hilton right across the street from the airport, and I got a phone call from one of my former coaches from college, Greg McVan, who actually told Sean about me, and that's how I was welcomed down to New Orleans, doing mini camps over the summer of that year. And Greg McMahon called me and told me, "Hey, just want to let you." He asked me what I was doing first. I told him, "Hey, I'm packing up, coach. Didn't make the team. Headed back to Chicago here." And he was like, "For what?" I'm like, he was like, "Nobody called you?" I was like, "No." He was like, "You didn't talk to nobody?" I said, "No." "What are you trying to tell me here?" And that's when he told me, "Man, you better be at the meetings tomorrow morning."
Wow.
He was like, you made the team, and that's when I just couldn't believe it right then and there, But
so you didn't, Pierre, you didn't think you had made it?
No, I did not, because I mean, this is something new for me. This is, like you said, straight out of college. There's they don't iron things out and tell you, "Hey, you made the team." Like, no, I don't mean I didn't know how to find out until he called me.
Wow.
It's like, how else you supposed to tell somebody you made the team? Like, they didn't give me a heads up and say, "Hey, if you don't get a call from us, that means you made the team." I didn't get that heads up. I didn't get that memo. It must have got lost in the mail. I didn't go through my email. I just didn't know. And when I got that call from Greg McMahon, I mean, that right there was the best news ever. And I mean, I called my whole entire family from that point on, and
I bet
the rest is history. So
incredible.
I'm just glad that I was landed with such a great group of men, people, I should say, not just men, but the whole organization. New Orleans was a great organization. It was a great fit, and I mean, it was God's plan. And I am very happy that I got a chance to play for an amazing coach and an amazing community. We did as best as we could to help get New Orleans back on its feet after a tragedy in 2005 with Hurricane Katrina. And that city was right there with us the whole entire time. And we had a great coach who was willing to fight and make a name for himself and, brings success to that city, which he did. He brought the passion, the inspiration, the power, the drive through us players and pushed it onto the city. And he kept telling that city, "We're going to be there for you. We're going to be there for you. We just need you to be there for us." So we're a team all together. And that's how we became that 2009 Super Bowl championship team.
Remarkable story. Pierre Thomas, running back for the Saints, played for Sean Payton for 8 years. Of course, Super Bowl champion, joining us on the Out of Bounds show in the Corona Premier guest line. So, all right, first couple of years, you're somewhat buried on the depth chart. You make the breakthrough in 2008. Reggie Bush gets hurt. 2009, things really pick up. To play with Drew Brees. And what I mean is, what was Drew like in big games when everything was on the line or things may not be going your way, in the huddle, series to series? What was it like to play with Drew?
Just seeing this man from the beginning to the end, like to the game day, meaning the beginning of the week, the way he carries himself, the way he practices, the way he prepares, down to the way he eats, he takes care of his body, all of that. The man is a machine. He's focused. He's a hard-working player. He's always trying to perfect his craft. He's hard on himself. There's time in practice where if he doesn't make the right throw or the right read, he gets upset with himself. And I think that's in every warrior or person who drives and strives for perfection. Drew he's a good man, good person, good friend, and a great athlete. And I'm not just talking about football. I don't know if people really notice the man is an all-around athlete. He can play basketball. He can play baseball. We have events where we had a softball over there at the Zephyr Stadium. This guy can hit lefty and righty and hit home runs. So it just shows me. I saw within Drew, it's just like, man, this is an unbelievable athlete. This guy right here, he has what it takes to be one of the greats. When I first saw him, and he's a good role model to try to follow. I would say every man needs to follow their own footsteps, but if you need someone to look at to show you, for example, of what it takes to be one of the best, Drew is one of them. And I was just happy. I'm glad and grateful that he's my brother and that we walked the journey together that we'll never forget.
No doubt. Pierre Thomas on the Out of Bounds Show, longtime New Orleans Saints Super Bowl winner. He joins us on the Corona Premier Guest Line. Okay, speaking of Sean and his big presence and big personality and his bite and so on, talk about how it took a guy like Drew Brees to handle Sean and playing that position and how much pressure Sean puts on that position, Pierre.
Well, those two there, you can see the joy, and I believe those two are almost like brothers. The competition that those two have, they're both competition driven. They love to compete. They love to challenge each other. They love to challenge one another, that I noticed. They were just meant to be, on the same team and working together. It was just as it was meant to be for those two to be together and play together and work together. Because they always, question each other or asking questions. And Drew was challenging them. And I believe Sean appreciated that. Drew saw that this man knows what he's talking about. This man knows what he's doing, because when we're in the meetings, you see some of these plays he come up with, and it's like, wow, okay, that's smart. I see where he's, how he came up with this. That's very clever. And Drew noticed that, and Drew is wants to win, wants to be a winner. With his drive, his passion, his work ethic, you need that same in the coach. And those two were, you can, like I said, you can see it on the field, even off the field of practice. They got something cooked up after practice, a competition, throwing competition, because there was a few times I jumped in there, just to try to, just to be closer to these guys and understand and talk to them and, pick their brains here and there. And just for those two to be together, it was something special to watch. I can't really put too many words on it. It was really something special to watch, and I'm just happy that I got a chance to really to be a part of that.
Unbelievable.
I get a chance to answer everything, because it's so much to say with those two.
What a run. Pierre Thomas on the Out of Bounds Show, running back for the New Orleans Saints, 8 years with Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and, of course, they won the Super Bowl. Pierre joins us on the Corona Premier Guest Line. We're receiving texts from listeners who are fired up to hear from Pierre. I got to meet Pierre a few years ago. He was doing a really cool event and function through his ICANN Foundation, and outstanding young man. And we had a blast as he came through Jackson. Blake, you want to wrap it up? We got 2 minutes with Pierre Thomas.
I do have an interesting question. So, Pierre, obviously you played in the Super Bowl, the biggest game in Saints franchise history. Sean Payton's obviously known as not only a Super Bowl champion, but maybe the one call that stands out to everybody is the coming out of halftime, the onside kick. So it's a two-parter.
Ambush.
Did you know that was going to be done? And if you did know, or even if you didn't know, whatever, what were your emotions like on the sideline watching that play unfold, and then obviously everything that happened after that?
Well, I mean, as I said earlier, I noticed Sean was he was the outside of the box thinker and very gutsy. And during the game, halftime, nobody knew that Sean was going to say right before we was going back out there that we was going to kick the onside, because he gathered everybody together. He usually does that, every halftime, and he gives his speech, to let us know, like, hey, it's not over, 0-0 halftime. But he gives like a little bit more motivational speech. I can't give you right now. I'm not Sean, but he'll give you something to make you want to go out there and give it your all. But when he said, be quiet, Tucker. When he said, because a dog. When he said that we're kicking it, we're doing the onside kick, because we've been practicing it in practice all that week. But when he mentioned it, I knew right then and there that it was going to work. Why did I know? I have no idea why, but I knew that it was going to work. And everybody around was shocked. Everybody was like, wait, what? What did you just say? And then we was just like, you know what? We're right there with you, Sean. We're right there with you, because it took a minute to hear it, because it was like, whoa, nobody has ever done this. And it makes you think like, oh, nobody ever done this. This will work. And this is gutsy. This is a typical Sean call. Sean is not scared to call things outside the box. He's not scared to take a chance. And that's the thing that we loved about him. Like, he would try to pull every trick out of his hat that he can, or his bag that he can, to win and be successful.
Man, we could do this for another hour. Pierre Thomas, 8 years with the New Orleans Saints, Super Bowl winner, made big play after big play on that playoff run, and of course played for Sean Payton and with Drew Brees. And that was a lot of fun. The stories were great. Pierre, we can't thank you enough. Thanks so much for your time today. Hope you're doing well, and hope to catch up again soon.
Definitely. Thank you guys for having me. Take care.
Pierre Thomas, New Orleans Saints Super Bowl winner and undrafted free agent who went on to, you look at his numbers on that playoff run, incredible. Big play after big play to lead them to Miami, and then had that huge screen pass that night against the Colts. Pierre Thomas on the Bucked Up Energy Drinks guest line. Chris Lemonis at 9:30.